Hey everyone, it's Chris Ward here with the CBT Nugget series on ITIL Foundations, and today's nugget is all about our service strategy lifecycle stage, and we're going to take a look at service packages, service level packages or SLPs, and service assets. So as we look at our capability of providing service value, we remember we have the formula, right? We have utility, right? And warranty equals the value or the service value that we're going to give to our customers or the end organization, whoever that is. The way that we do this, of course, is we take these services and we typically put them together into what are called service packages. Now, service packages are going to be the things that we offer, the whatever it is that we put, the services, one or more, that are going to create the value for our customer. That can be made up of three things that we'll talk about shortly: the core services, the enabling services, and the enhancing services. But we also know that there are sometimes that customers where they might need a maybe more utility than they need warranty. So they'll have a greater need for that utility rather than some of the things that come with warranty. Or vice versa. Maybe somebody needs more warranty for their organization rather than the utility, or maybe they need both. And that is where we can take and create service level packages which can help solve that. And then finally, the way that we get all this to people and deliver these things with our service packages are what are known as service assets. So let's take a look at each one of these in a little bit more detail. In order to get value into the hands of the customer, we are going to provide services, right? And so if you think about it, we have a couple of our customers coming in here over here at Acme Coffee, and they are going to want, let's say, a cappuccino. They want a cappuccino in a cup. And so that would be a service that is going to be provided. Now, service packages, by the way, can be one or more services that you're going to put together. We could perhaps put together a sandwich and a soda combo. So that way when they come in, they get a sandwich and a soda. Well, something goes into making the sandwich, something goes into making the soda, but together that is still a package that they are able to get. The packages, whether it's one service or whether it's many services that are put together, are going to have a few things, including the core service package. The core service package, think about it this, is the one that provides what the customer is desiring. It's the basic outcome of the service. So in this case, if they're getting a cappuccino, it's the cappuccino, right? But you are also going to need perhaps something that makes sure that that core service gets into the hands of your people. This would be something like, in the case of Acme Coffee, you are going to need the guy that's washing the dishes in the back in order to provide a clean cup in order to give them their cappuccino, right? So enabling services, it could be the accounting group, perhaps, that's making sure that they do a good job with the money so that way they can provide that cup of coffee at a decent price, again, providing value to the customer. Then you have enhancing services. Enhancing services are all the extras. So, for example, and by the way, these enhancing services aren't necessary for the delivery of the core service. In other words, for example, here at Acme Coffee, everybody loves coming in here because why? You can have free Wi-Fi, right? Go to any Starbucks, go into Costa Coffees and all these places, wherever your favorite is, Tim Hortons, all those kind of places. Whatever it is, when you come in, most of them, if not all of them, have free Wi-Fi. Maybe another one enhancing service would be maybe they have a conference room in the back. Okay, so they have a conference room which now allows a whole bunch of your people come together. Maybe you can do a work team meeting. Okay, so that would be something that is an enhancing service. According to ITIL in their service strategy book, enhancing services are added to make the core service more exciting or enticing. So that would be an enhancing service. So how does that work in the IT world? Well, it could be something as simple as that you want to provide the files. So let's say you're going to provide a files, okay, that people can work on. Well, that's the core service package of what you're supplying. Well, the enabling services are going to be the underlying IT infrastructure, things like the host servers, maybe for a virtual machine that's going to be able to do that. You are going to also provide perhaps the desktops themselves, things like that. And then enhancing services would be something like, well, you want to make sure that you not only have the ability to provide access to the files, but maybe you want to supply security for those files. And I mentioned it in a previous nugget about how you can use Active Directory Rights Management, ADRMS, and that would be an enhancing service that you can add on top to make it better for your customers. So that is a service package. But think about it. Your customers are the ones that say whether it is going to be a value or not. It's not you, the service provider, that's going to be doing that. And that means that every customer might be a little different in what they're looking for, especially if you think about with our Acme Coffee, where you have people coming in and they have different expectations for that. So what you might want to find is a way to either make it a one-size-fits-all service where, look, it's kind of like In-N-Out. If you're familiar with In-N-Out, In-N-Out does pretty much one thing: burgers, fries, shakes, and soda. That's it. Now, within that, though, they have different levels. They have little things like you can get a double animal style where they take the onions and they do something a little bit different. But there's basic core packages. Or then you have people that's, you go to a restaurant like Claim Jumper, which has a billion things on the menu, or like Cheesecake Factory is another good example, where they just have a whole bunch of different things. Well, if that's the case, that can obviously, depends on the economies of scale, you might not be able to deliver something like that at Acme Coffee. Or if you just try to do a one-size-fits-all, a lot of customers will go, well, I don't like that one-size-fits-all. So they might go somewhere else. So the way to balance the two is to provide levels of the utility and warranty for that service package, and that's where service level packages come into play. With a service level package, basically this is a way to have your service packages offer different, as we would think, and it pretty much just makes sense, a level of those packages. And this is going to be in different ways. This can be in how available is something going to be. Is it available all the time? That's what continuity really means. What capacity can you handle certain things? Maybe you have the ability, you see this all the time, where the capacity can be you have about 5 users utilizing Office 365 and you pay X amount of money, and each one of those can have access to maybe Office products and Link and all those kind of things. But then if you want to go to where I want to have 200 people, well, then you might want to change your level of package as well as the pricing, right? Which is pretty much what it's all going to come down to. Security levels. Maybe you need something that is available at a low level of security, a public level of security, whereas certain things might need to be private and secure, maybe utilizing VPN technologies. So that would obviously be a higher level package, or maybe just a different type of delivery that you can do. That's another thing, because remember, the way that is available or the continuity can also come into play. So if we're thinking about it, this is, utilizing, obviously, remember, utility and warranty. This is mostly about the warranty side of things, right? Warranty, there we go. And this is more about the utility of it. The features of the service. Maybe you get certain features, like Office 365, great example, where you get a ability to download a copy of Office 2013 down to your desktop. Well, that's one, but then they also have the email only way of offering Office 365 to people. That might be a thing. What kind of support do you have of this service? Is this going to be a 9 to 5 thing, or is it Monday through Friday, or is it 24/7? That might be another solution to think about. And so if you look at it from our Acme Coffee example, you can have perhaps different things that are offered for lunch. So maybe you have a lunch menu versus the dinner menu, right? That's one way of doing things. Perhaps you are going to offer catering. Now, that's obviously a higher level of things. Maybe if they go in and use that conference room, they can order their own drinks, but if they want to pay for an extra fee, you will cater it. They'll have coffee in there, some rolls, maybe some sandwiches all cut up. Well, that would be a different level of package. Now, we always need to remember for these situations that the thing that is going to come into play is the level of service, right? And the price of service, okay? So you have a level, and then of course that equals price. The higher the level, the higher the price. The lower the level, the lower the price. And so that makes sense for us as IT providers and IT service providers in order to help our customers. Some people want the whole package, everything, and the kitchen sink. Some people just want specific items. So service level packages can help you kind of balance and still maintain your efficiency of operations, right? You get the various pricings, you get different levels, and everything put together, and it makes your customers happy. So if you think about it, we have these service packages, service level packages, right? All those things that we have, but there are also a way we need to deliver these to our customers, right? In some way. And so according to ITIL's service strategy book, a service asset is any resource or capability used in the provision of services in order to create value in the forms of goods and services for the customer. So essentially, these are the things that we are going to utilize to get them into the hands of our customers. So if we think about it, resources, and this is important because in the small wallet room gang, they will give you something and say, is that a resource or a capability? Or is this an example of a resource or a capability? And you need to remember a couple of things. Number one, these are tangible things. All right, the usually physical resources, right? These can be inputs into a process, okay, and that come out. This would typically be something like a tangible thing. We need a display case for our cupcakes and our coffee things. We need a cash register system. We need boxes, or we can box things up. We need a credit card machine, so that way we can swipe or put the credit cards in there to charge the people for the food and the coffee. These are tangible things. Now, obviously, these are easy to get. We will have to pay for them typically, but we can procure them, we can pay for them, we can go out and find these fairly easy. Now, capabilities, on the other hand, these are the intangibles, okay? Intangibles. Intangibles. These are things that are typically going to, for example, you have a person that's running the cash register system. If they are experienced and if they have knowledge, they have the capability, they're going to be able to ring the order up and provide the, in this case, we'll give them a cupcake and they'll be out the door. But let's say they haven't developed that capability, or we don't have people that are very trained on the product. Well, that can affect, right, the delivery of the service. This can be also behaviors of people. It can be the types, and this is another one, processes are also capabilities that we have put into place. Some people used to say that these are information based. So all these things are considered service assets. Remember though, resources versus capabilities, so that way you can get that question right when you're in a small wallet room. Well, we took a look at service packages, service level packages, and service assets in this nugget. Some good information to get you started. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for joining me.